This is Codes. I'm back talking about our NGG Fantasy Football League. The Ticket to Ride defeat Winley Flynn in a low scoring affair. Justin's Deli cruised past the implications. Morgan's Luck Cardinals barely survive an almost upset against Nate's Escobar Hippos. We were watching this game last night, and I think it literally came down to like a single Isaiah Pacheco yard, which was what put Morgan over the top. This is Nate's best performance, so stay on the lookout for Nate as we get into the toilet bowl. The Seawards, however, do upset. They defeat the Kung Fu Pandas in a shocker. Brownout's team pops off in their finals rematch versus Cam. They throw up 242. No slowing down. No death yet. The Liquidators are able to hang on after a great showing from Rudy was offsides. It was looked like Rudy was going to win that, and then Chase was able to pull it out, largely in part thanks to Kelsey and Rasheed Rice. Going to start talking a bit, as always, about our division tables. This was the Bamageddon week, so it was very rough for a lot of teams, and I think we're going to have a lot of buys this week as well. Not quite as many. I think there was like 6 last week. Now we might have like 4, or maybe there was more than 6. But regardless, the Liquidators are starting to pull away from the Cardinals. They pick up 3 straight W's, 13-3 with 9 straight victories. This is our longest winning streak in the league, I believe, so far this year. So Chase's team is absolutely hitting right now, and Morgan's team is still in the hunt, right behind him, 10-6, and they're at I think the 5th seed, but the inaugurals are lurking right behind them at 8-8, and by the time we get around to replaying our division opponents, weeks 12, 13, and 14, this could look completely different depending on victories against the media and whatnot. And like we just mentioned, Rick's team, the Seawards, they showed up this past week to make things even more interesting. Now they're 6-10, currently in the extra pick bracket if the season were to end today. But I mean, they have proven that they can knock off some of the big names and play spoiler a bit. So this division is, I mean, it's looking like Chase is going to keep pulling away. But the 3 teams after him, I mean, man, really no telling what's going to happen. Moving on to the microaggressors, there's not much at all to talk about. This is the same old story. Brownout's dominant, everyone else is trash. Ticket to Ride dropping at the toilet wall conversation for the time being after losing to the median. And Rudy continues to show that their team is being slept on this year. We'll see if they're able to get out of the toilet bowl conversation and make it to extra pick, but they're going to have to keep putting up crazy numbers. And unless Kirk Cousins ends up being the starter in Atlanta, they might not have another QB2. But that's what the trade deadline's for. They can maybe find a deal there. The Joe Millionaires have 2 playoff-bound teams currently in the Pandas and the Justin's Deli. The Pandas are a comfy in right now at 14-2. I think they're right with Brownout, and like they could lose the rest of their games and still probably make playoffs or something like that. The Deli continue to prove doubters wrong, but they're really being aided by that lowest points against in the entire league. So the Deli are 12-4, probably another comfy in as well, but we'll have to see how they handle their division opponents once we get back around the gauntlet. So we're trying to save some of the better content for the trade deadline show Blind and I are going to do, but we are going to share some details with potential holdouts because I know you guys might have been curious about it or just want to see. I mean, some of you guys might even be doing the calculations yourself. This isn't like obviously set in stone or finite because things change just as quickly as next week. But as of right now, if there were to be holdouts today, which they're not because holdouts will take place after week 14 if the player's in the top tier at their position and considered underpaid. The details are in the bylaws, but we're just going to highlight a couple players to watch out for. Our top 6 QBs that are in holdout territory, the top 2 are Mahomes and Hurts, who currently are well compensated. They don't need more money. They're probably not going to get more money. Drake May would hold out, but he is on a second year of his rookie deal, so there's protection there, and that same case scenario applies for Bo Nix. But the holdout to watch this year is our QB6, Daniel Jones, who sneaks right in. Apparently he figured it out in Indy this year. I mean, it sure helps when you have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. But yeah, if Daniel Jones keeps doing what he's doing, he will absolutely hold out this year, which some might say is a good thing. I mean, I don't know. Flynn would rather have that, you know, toss him to the side and get a pick, or maybe, I don't know. Either way, like that contract is really nice, considering what production you're getting from Jones, but it may not be that nice for long. We'll just put it that way. Some of our RB holdouts in the top 12 start with the obvious. We have Devon A. Chain. I mean, PPR monster. He will produce for fantasy as long as Tua's back there throwing the ball. Javonte Williams, James Cook, Jameer Gibbs. The next three, they're also all very likely to reach that holdout threshold again as well. I know James Cook already held out, but I believe that doesn't stop him from holding out again. Jameer Gibbs is on the third year of his rookie deal, which is prime time for holdout. And Javonte Williams, the surprise of the year, I guess. One of them, anyway. Looked like dust in Denver, and now he's in Dallas, and he's absolutely eating. So he's paid a little less than I believe the average is in that top tier of the top 12. So Javonte would probably hold out as well. The top 12 wideouts tell us that JSN and Pickens are going to be looking for more money this offseason, which is not a surprise. JSN has been lights out. And George Pickens quietly, like, I think wide receiver 3 on the year. Like, he has absolutely been a great ad for the Dallas Cowboys offense. And then, of course, we have to talk about Puka Nacua. I mean, if he gets back in the mix and puts up crazy numbers, I mean, he's absolutely going to hold out because he's getting paid $6 this year. And we are going to need those holdouts to see a minimum of 10 games. So Puka missing time actually does help him. But if it's just for 1 week and he's back to 20 points per contest, yeah, Morgan's going to have to be forking over the dough to keep Puka around. Speaking of Morgan, the tight end holdouts are only considered from the top 4, and the only one in that top 4 that's looking like a really lock is Tucker Kraft, who I think is the number 2, number 1 tight end potentially on the year. I think it's on his screenshot, but he's really the only lock for a holdout at his current pace. Absolutely one of the best players on the Green Bay Packers right now. Morgan signed him to that great contract. Looks really nice, 8, 10, 14, but he's probably going to want more money at the rate he's playing. So that was just a quick little look at the potential holdouts. Obviously, all that subject to change depending on how the rest of the year goes. But wanted to throw some of those names out there so you guys can get your mind around it as we approach the Halloween and the start of November, and then eventually the trade deadline. So thank you for watching, and hope you all have a great day.